Hey, you guys, Cindy here. I hope everybody's having a wonderful Thursday. Can you believe it's a week from Thanksgiving? Just heard a loud noise outside. Um, I can't believe it either. This year is flying by. And you know what? With holiday parties coming up, all kinds of social activities, this is the perfect time to actually talk about something that I love to talk about, which is how to let a guy know that you're interested. You're interested in getting to know him without scaring him away. You know, as women, we really worry about being needy. We worry about being too bold, too pushy. Some people don't, but I will, the future's female, and with women really on the rise, which I love. It also creates an environment for, things to be a little bit different in the dating pool and with men. So I'm going to give you guys some really foolproof ways to create a connection with a man without, without charging forward and scaring him away, or even without starting in the masculine. So I want you to hear me there, because if you approach a man, and many women don't have any problems approaching a man, what that does, it actually puts you in the masculine energy, and it can set the stage for you being in the masculine energy for the relationship forever. And you really don't want that. So what you want to do is create some openings to connect with a handsome gentleman. So for example, let's just say you're at a party and you're having a good time. Depending on the party, maybe it's an intimate party, maybe it's a large party, but you see a handsome guy and you happen to catch his eye, and you want to do this smile. And smile like it's Christmas Day, ladies. Smile and say to yourself, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. And I know it feels uncomfortable, but do it. And then turn away and then look up at him again and smile. And I can tell you this, if he's available, even if he's not available, he's likely to come talk to you. And he might say, gosh, do we know each other? And you could say, I was just admiring your nice suit there. You look so, you look great tonight. And I don't think we know each other. I'm Cindy. What's your name? We know each other now. So you want to, carry on a good conversation. You can't hear anything? Okay. Good. I'm glad you can hear something. So you want to carry on a small chit-chat conversation. How do you know such and such? What brings you here? Have that nice conversation. Enjoy it. If he offers to, get you a drink or something, like, graciously accept. Speak with him for a little bit, and find out information, and you can always find ways to let him know that you'd be interested in continuing this at a different time. Like, maybe you're talking about something and, related. It just, oh gosh, you know what? If you were to ask me to go to that, I would definitely say yes. I just, I really enjoy blank. Put your hand on his arm, like little subtle things that will give him the idea that you're interested. Do you slip him your number? No, he gets to ask for it. And you want to make sure that he does. You know, you want to say, you want to end the conversation before he does. You don't want to stay with him, especially if you're at a party or something, all night long. You say, gosh, this has been lovely. I've so enjoyed our conversation. I sure hope we get to do this again. And he might say something, you know, he might whip out a cell phone and say, hey, you know, give me your number, or here's my phone number. And you might say, here, I'll give you my number and shoot me a text. And that way we have each other's information. And I'm a little old-fashioned, so I look forward to hearing from you. You're letting him know, you're giving him permission that, hey, it's okay to contact me, and I would actually prefer that. And you go. You've actually built up tension right there. And you're not the girl that's hanging out with him the entire party. Have you ever done that? I think I have in the past. You know, it can be, it's too much, especially if you just met someone and you don't want to, you know, if you end up dancing, great. You're doing something together. You're dancing, you're having fun, you go hang out with your friends, and, you know, you let it flow. And inevitably, the guy is definitely going to ask for your number, unless you have a bad attitude, right? But you don't, because you're going, you're having a good time, you're putting your best foot forward. So, you know, that's something. You know, when you're dating, you know, when you're meeting people from online for the first time, and maybe you think, gosh, this guy is just really great. I'm having such a great time with him, and I don't want to creep him out by, you know, letting him know what a great time I'm having. I love vulnerability, and I like, you know, vulnerability is different from talking about the future and what the future holds, and, you know, whatever, you know, putting the full court press on. Because how many of you have been on a date, or maybe you've even done it yourself, where somebody's firing away a ton of questions to you, you feel like you're on the witness stand, your armpits are sweaty, you're like, oh my gosh, and maybe in the moment you don't think to create some humor, or you don't think to say anything, because there's this, you know, feeling of, you know, pressure, but we tend to put pressure on ourselves, but there's just this feeling of, wow, I mean, this is overwhelming and scary, right? And even think about, you know, when a guy approaches you online, or you're just getting to know him and he's super interested, so he's messaging you a lot, and he's, you know, trying to really make plans and do a lot of things, and maybe in your mind you're going, I think this is a bit much. And, you know, it's the same thing in reverse for men. It's the same thing in reverse for men, because women can get really excited too. You know, most of you ladies know well enough to, you know, sit back, try, you know, work your hardest to be in your feminine, and let him lead. You know, let him take the reins. And you know, I had a client of mine share something. She's like, oh, I'm really struggling. It's like I get, you know, a group of guys that are just too much too soon online, or other group that seems really nice and cool, and then they, you know, we go to the next level of getting asked out, and then they disappear. So, you know, some of that I talk about energy a lot, but some of that has to do with, you know, what's going on in our minds. And follow me here. So it's kind of like, you ever see a car that you like and you go, gosh, that's kind of a cool car. It's interesting. Kind of like that car. And the next thing you know, you see this car everywhere in every possible color. You see the car. Well, you're utilizing subconscious thoughts to create your reality. So the same thing can be done with developing the kind of relationship that you want. So if you do, and this will be really helpful to you ladies, you know, if you do visualizing, and even if you're in a relationship and you want to enrich it even more, you can visualize, what does it look like? You know, what do your lives look like together? What are you doing together? Are you married? Are you, you know, what does it feel like? Do you guys like to cuddle up on the couch together? Are you cooking? Are you making jokes? You know, what are you doing? And if you do a visualization that becomes kind of like a feelingization, meditation type thing, daily, Lori, you will actually, you'll start to materialize that. It's kind of like the car. Imagine the car. You know, you see this vision of the kind of person that you want. Now, we may not have a space. We may not have exactly what he looks like. You know, I remember one of my clients that, you know, she said, when we first started working together, she's like, I want the guy to be tall. And I was like, all right, because as a former high-end matchmaker, I know the average height of the American man is 5'8". And I'm a shorty, so it doesn't matter. But at any rate, so, you know, there are a lot of women that, and I think she's 5'7", 5'8", but she wanted someone that she felt safe and secure with. And many of us, we all do to, you know, some degree. But it was funny. We were, you know, she was having some challenges during her time of dating before she met her guy. And I was going through, you know, her dating sites, and I was, you know, picking out men, and because men that I felt like would be aligned with her. And I'm pretty good about intuitively doing that, and also seeing the types of people, right? So we're going through this, and what was funny is something I noticed. I wasn't even looking at height, but all of the men that I was picking were 6 foot plus. And I said, see, these guys are taller. It's all good. Let's not focus on the one thing that I might be giving you a little bit of pushback on, in case, you know, just in case, be open. If the love of your life is 5'10", it may not be such a bad thing. But anyways, her guy's tall. He's like 6'3", but it's just funny how, you know, thinking about things, that conscious becomes our subconscious. So, you know, when it comes to getting back to the subject of scaring him away, do we, you know, what are ways of being within which we can scare him away? Well, I mean, even in a relationship, you can shut a guy down and scare him away by, when you're triggered and you let things build up, and then there's a lashing out. I think I was talking about my client who had that text messaging thing with her guy around this wedding, and she was, I could tell she was irritated, and she wanted to feel even more validated, and she wasn't, and what was coming through is her irritation about other things. And so her and I ended up talking about that message, And she was like, yeah, you know, I could see where by my way of being in that message, you know, instead of, so, you know, she said she was mad and, you know, using languaging like, gosh, I'm disappointed. I really wanted to go. That would have been really amazing. And, you know, seek to understand. And, you know, when we talked about it, she's like, yeah, you know, and I get it at the end of the day. But when, you know, our words, especially on text messaging, can be really powerful and can scare a good person away. It can scare a good person away. So less is more. So, you know, even let a guy know you're interested. If he's messaging you and you could be fun, like, gosh, I just, you know, I just left the gym. You know, so happy to got your message. What's up? You know, things like that. You know, give him a picture. You know, let him know you're interested without going full force. If he's not asking you out, you can, typically what's happening is that there's too much messaging going on and it's kind of like a date to him, or you're talking too much on the phone. So, and that's also like a date to him and he's satisfied. So what you want to do is create desire. And in the case of that, you can think about something that you two, you know, shared in common. And you can bring it up. You could say, oh gosh, you know, I hear this, you know, this song from your favorite band, blah, blah, blah. I'm, you know, belting it out of my car right now. Where are you? You know, where have you been? You know, where are you? And what it can do is it evokes desire, it evokes some fun, and it can encourage him to go, yeah, I need to see her. So things like that are subtle and inviting, yet you're not overtly going, you know, hey, let's go to the movies Saturday night. You're going, seen any great movies lately? Which ones? Is there anyone you want to see? I've heard about this one, blah, 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 you know, whatever. And then you let it go. You just go, yeah, I really want to see that too. And you can be flirty with them. You know, if you were to ask me out to a movie, I might say yes. You know, you can do that. You can give them permission. And sometimes men, especially in the beginning, they need a little bit of bullying. But they are hunters by nature. So you want to really gauge that and, you know, start to gauge the kind of person he is. So if his motor needs a little revving, so to speak, then he might need, and then he starts to move up, and then he builds momentum, and then he starts showing up, and showing up more for you. You've got to give him the space to do that and not make it too easy, not be available all the time, and be in flow with things and set up the precedence from the beginning. You know, set it up where he's the one, you're the receptor. You're the receptor. You know, he's the one that's reaching out to you more. You're receptive. Your messages should be typically a little less than his. Not all the time, but typically. He calls you first. You call him back. And it creates that precedence of, okay, he's the one that's doing more of the work. And that creates the kind of relationship where if you continue that for the rest of your life, you've got a man that's doing a little bit more of the work, and he cherishes and adores you forever. Anyway, I hope this has been helpful, you guys. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, anything else you want to see here. I will answer any and everything, and I'm sending you lots of love. Mwah. Have an amazing rest of your day. See you tomorrow. Bye.